Hi, I'm Dylan Fernandez, state representative for my hometown of Falmouth and the islands, both Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and the Elizabeth Island chain. It has been an honor to represent you over the past 2 years, and it's an honor to represent the place where I live and grew up in Falmouth. My family actually came here 4 generations ago. They came here from the Azores and started a small strawberry farm out in East Falmouth. And like many people who came here to start a better life for themselves, they really struggled starting out. And in fact, my father, who grew up in a family of 9 brothers and sisters, grew up in really extreme poverty in this town. You know, college was never an option for him. I'm not even sure if he graduated from high school, but he had ambition and drive, and he started a small business, worked to see it grow, and got to witness the reward of his hard work when I graduated from college. One of the first people in this large Portuguese family to do so. And so the reason I entered public service is to give back to the community of Falmouth that's given me and my family so much, and to stick up for families like mine and other Falmouth families that are really vulnerable and struggling to get by. And when I think of the issues impacting our Falmouth community, I think of 3 kind of top tier ones around our opioid and heroin epidemic and addressing it, around our lack of affordable housing and how that's driving young people and working families out of our district, and around environmental stewardship, climate change, sea level rise. We're a district that is on the front lines and needs to take serious steps to address it. And when I got up to the yeah. So I can probably take her from there though, right?
No, it's got to be one continuous.
Oh shit, really?
Yep.
Okay. Damn, man.
We can't edit these.
Why not?
Because it's like the same gavel to gavel.
Oh no. Okay. Damn, so I have to do the whole thing over. All right. Cool. All right, this will be my last one.
Pull your coat together.
More?
Nope, that's good.
Should we button it? Looks nah.
No.
Okay.
Anytime.
All right. Hi, I'm Dylan Fernandez, state representative for my hometown of Falmouth and Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and the Elizabeth Island chain. It's an honor to represent you in the State House, and it's an honor to represent my hometown. My family came to Falmouth 4 generations ago. They came over from the Azores, and like many Azorean families, started a small strawberry farm out in East Falmouth. It wasn't always easy for them. In fact, my father grew up in really extreme poverty here in town. But in this classic American dream story, he started a small business, worked to see it grow. It witnessed the reward of his hard work as I graduated from college, an opportunity that he never had. And so the reason I got into public service was to give back to the Falmouth community that's given me and my family so much, and to help the most vulnerable in our society. When I think about the largest issues impacting Falmouth and the Cape and Islands, those are issues of lack of affordable housing that's driving young people and working families out of our district. It's environmental stewardship, sea level rise, issues of water quality. And when we think of climate change, our district, more than any other, is right on the front lines. And it's issues of our opioid and heroin epidemic that's ravaging our local communities and affecting many of the people I actually went to school with. And so at the State House, we've been working to address those issues. And at the State House, we hit the ground running this past term. I passed 11 bills on issues ranging from ocean acidification to long-term treatment options for those suffering from addiction, and even to signing Massachusetts onto the Paris Climate Agreement. And we have a lot more work to do, and I look forward to working with you over this next session to address those issues. We also secured over $500,000 in the budget for items like homelessness, for items on shellfish propagation, and access to health care. But one of the things that we work on every single day that doesn't get attention in the press is the local issues that you come to us for help. And we've worked on over 200 constituent cases of people who reach out to our office on their daily needs. And when they reach out to a state rep's office, it's usually a last resort. They've usually tried a bunch of other options, but people will reach out and we'll help them, connect them with with health care. We'll help them get on disability insurance. We'll help with a whole range of different issues that really have a huge impact on their lives, even if they don't make the newspaper and the headlines. Just know that our office is always here for you. We're here to serve you. It's an honor to represent you. And you can call us or email us anytime, and we'll help you as best we can. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ron Bergstrom, candidate for Barnstable County Commissioner. In my 40-plus years of living here on Cape Cod, I've personally experienced the same challenges so many Cape Codders face today: finding affordable housing, making ends meet in a seasonal economy, and dealing with the ever-increasing cost of living. I'm proud of my record on these issues, first as a selectman in my town of Chatham, and currently as a delegate to the county legislative body, the Assembly of Delegates, where I've served 8 years as Speaker. Now I'm ready to take my knowledge and my experience to the Board of County Commissioners. Barnstable County government can be a valued resource in meeting the challenges Cape Cod will face in the coming years. To retain young families, we need to increase our stock of affordable housing and encourage the production of living wage jobs. Drug dependency, homelessness, and mental health issues continue to be a serious concern. On the environmental front, major coastal erosion of our shoreline and the effects of nitrification in our bays and estuaries pose a looming threat to our tourist-based economy. These and other critical issues cry out for a comprehensive, regionally based approach. The need to defend our fragile environment and the quality of life it provides us is what first led to my involvement in local government and eventually to run for public office. I believe we all have an investment in the health of Cape Cod's waterways and should work to keep them free from pollution and encroachment. As your next county commissioner, I will support the efforts of Barnstable County to protect our groundwater, halt nitrification of our bays and estuaries, and minimize the effects of overdevelopment and sprawl. Both our quality of life and our economy are closely tied to the health of our environment. On affordable housing, I believe the Cape must maintain a diverse population, young and old, worker and retiree. I will encourage production of below market rate housing, not only for those families in the lowest economic bracket, but also for moderate income households, teachers, firefighters, healthcare workers. On addiction, the Barnstable County Regional Substance Abuse Council is working to bring all healthcare providers and social service agencies together to address the scourge of opiate dependency, which has taken the lives of so many of our young people. Working with our legislative delegation, I will petition the state to provide more inpatient rehabilitation facilities for those afflicted by this disease. All Cape Towns benefit from the work of our dedicated AmeriCorps volunteers. I will vote to reverse the draconian cuts made to the AmeriCorps program by the current board and restore our access to the full complement of AmeriCorps volunteers. On human rights, my opponent, Mr. Koukounis, has said a Human Rights Commission doesn't have a place in Barnstable County. I support the continued work of the Barnstable County Human Rights Commission to oppose discrimination based on race, gender, religion, or sexual orientation. Now, fortunately, Cape Cod has in the past received substantial state and federal funds to help Barnstable County meet these challenges and reduce the financial burden on our local taxpayers. But for the past 2 years, however, insulting comments by County Commissioners Ronald Beatty and Leo Koukounis have threatened the good relationships between Barnstable County and those whose support we need to access future funding. Just recently, Koukounis accused local officials and our Cape legislators of being complicit in the recent shark-related death in Wellfleet. They didn't take prior action to prevent this, he said, because they were worried it might cost them votes. Wellfleet Administrator Dan Hort responded, "We have always had outstanding support from Barnstable County staff, but I'm not sure what value the commissioners bring to the table." I am running for County Commissioner to replace Mr. Koukounis and bring a voice of reason and a record of accomplishment to the table. As a selectman, I helped guide our comprehensive wastewater management plan through a complex regulatory process and on to town meeting approval, a task other Cape towns are now facing. Under my leadership, Barnstable County will be a key player in reducing the cost of this undertaking. Now a word about Mr. Beatty, someone people ask me quite a lot about when I'm on the campaign trail. Ronald Beatty Jr. has served 14 months in federal prison for issuing threats against public officials, including President George Bush and Senator Ted Kennedy. He's made national news by demanding that we bait and kill sharks, called a survivor of the Parkland school shootings an opportunistic rat, and proposed jailing public officials who support sanctuary cities, which includes most of the mayors, councilors, and police chiefs in Massachusetts. Unfortunately, his term is not up until 2020. But in November, the voters can restore respect for county government by replacing the man who backed Beatty's election and who has said publicly that if Mr. Beatty is a candidate for re-election in 2020, he would again support him. I am running to replace Kukunas and, working with fellow Democrat Mary Pat Flynn, return the Barnstable County Board of Commissioners to moderation, reason, and compromise. Together we can marginalize Mr. Beatty and counter his far-right agenda. By encouraging the work of both county staff and our many dedicated volunteers, we can harness the wealth of human capital both inside and outside the county complex and promote a shared vision of Cape Cod's future. I urge voters from Bourne to Provincetown to focus on this race, and I urge them to cast a vote on November 6th in favor of experienced and cooperative leadership for Cape Cod's regional government. I'm Ron Bergstrom. I'm running for County Commissioner, and I ask for your support on November 6th. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Susan Moran. You might recognize me as the chair of the Board of Selectmen, but I'm speaking with you now to ask you to vote for me for the Falmouth Designation Assembly of Delegates. I currently hold the Falmouth Assembly position. I'm running for re-election unopposed, but I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you to please vote for me again. The county position is a legislative branch of the government, and there is one representative for each town. Falmouth has the second highest weighted vote after Barnstable, so it's a very important position for Falmouth. People often ask what the county does. One of the best known things the county does is that the dredge. So all of the Cape communities use the resources of the county to do things that they wouldn't normally want to invest in by themselves. So it's something that shared opportunities. The Cape Cod Commission is part of the county. On the Assembly of Delegates, I'm the chair of the Economic Development section of the Assembly of Delegates. I'm also on the Finance Committee and Human Services. Those positions are all very important and intersect well with all the needs of Falmouth. Additionally, I'm on the Telecommunications Committee, and that's something that, you know, with Open Cape at our doorstep and the EDIC in Falmouth, investing in it, it's a good way to coordinate the opportunities. Folks sometimes ask, you know, how is it being a selectman as well as a county representative? I think that Falmouth benefits when the designee for assembly is also on the Board of Selectmen, because you just are at the front seat of a lot of opportunities that may come by, which is why, you know, Falmouth has a long-standing tradition of getting those opportunities first and really getting the benefits of the monies that it puts into the county. The other things that are going on lately, you might have heard that there's a charter review going on with the county. In my first 2 years of office, I got to learn a lot, and I'm in a position now to move some of those initiatives forward. With respect to the charter review, some folks thought that there should be recall position opportunities for the public. That's something we're going to look at going forward. There's also been some financial accounting challenges for the county, where the administrator got some good advice about how to move forward and be even financially stronger. The bond rating has improved this year, and a lot of the programs have really been solidified in terms of financial stability. The Fire Training Academy is growing, the IT department is growing, and those are things that are going to continue to stabilize the county with respect to longevity and how it's going to work with the Cape Cod Commission's planning initiatives. I'm also the Barnstable County Economic Development Commission Chair. that is another way that I can coordinate my efforts in Falmouth to the benefit of the community. Right now, it's undergoing a review. You'll have an opportunity if you go on the Commission website to give some comments, and that's the Cape Cod Commission's initiative to give more planning ideas and weight of decisions back to the communities, to overall favor growing in areas where we already have good infrastructure, sewers, for example, and then to balance the ecological and historical aspects of the community that are so important to our livelihood and that attract our tourism dollars year in and year out. So those are a few of the things that the county does. I really appreciate you having voted me to this position 2 years ago. I really like the job, and I hope you'll vote for me again. Susan Moran for the Assembly of Delegates representative for Falmouth. Thank you very much.